is not what happens to you. It is what you tell yourself about what happens to you. You have been taught that your emotions are a storm, a chaotic, uncontrollable force of nature that you must either endure or suppress. A critical word from another person sends a lightning strike through your peace. An unexpected setback unleashes a flood of anxiety. A memory of a past failure burns like a wildfire you cannot extinguish. You feel like a ship tossed on a violent sea, at the mercy of every wave, every gust of wind. And so you fight. You build walls of logic to hold back the flood. You tell yourself to be rational, to calm down, to get over it. You try to reason with the hurricane. But this war against your own feelings is exhausting, and it is a war you will never win, because you have been fighting a phantom. You believe the external event is the source of your suffering, but it is not. The event is merely a spark. The true inferno is the one you light yourself inside your own mind. This constant inner battle, this cycle of reaction and resistance, is the true architecture of your misery. It is the reason you feel drained, reactive, and powerless. You are not a victim of your emotions. You are a casualty of your own unrecognized judgments. Of course, here is the second, more extensive part of the script as you request it. It is designed to provide the core teaching with the necessary depth and substance. 2,000 years ago, in a world of plagues, wars, and tyrannical emperors, a group of philosophers stared into the heart of human suffering and did not flinch. They were the Stoics, and they discovered a law of the mind so fundamental it is less a philosophy and more a description of reality itself. They understood that the pain of life is inevitable, but suffering is a choice. This choice is governed by what is known as the law of the two arrows. The first arrow is the event. It is the raw, unfiltered reality of what happens. It is the arrow that is shot at you by the world. It is the unexpected illness, the betrayal of a friend, the loss of a job, the harsh criticism, the public failure. This arrow is real. It strikes you and it causes pain. The pain is a clean, sharp sensation. It is the immediate shock of impact. The Stoics teach that you have no ultimate control over this first arrow. It is part of the fabric of existence. To wish for a life with no first arrows is to wish for a life that is not human. It is to argue with reality, a battle you will always lose. But it is the second arrow that causes all your prolonged suffering. The second arrow is the one you pick up, aim at your own heart, and fire yourself. This second arrow is your judgment. It is the story you tell yourself about the first. The first arrow was the critical email from your boss. The second arrow is the story. This is a catastrophe. My boss thinks I'm incompetent. I'm going to be fired. My career is over. The first arrow was the end of a relationship. The second arrow was the story, I will be alone forever. I am unlovable. This proves I am a failure. The first arrow is a physical pain in your body. The second arrow is the story, this will never get better. My life is ruined. I can't bear this. This second arrow has many names. You call it rumination, as you replay the initial wound in your mind 1,000 times, each time feeling the pain as if it were new. You call it catastrophizing, as you build a terrifying fantasy of a future filled with ruin, all based on a single event. You call it self-criticism, as you berate yourself for being vulnerable, for making a mistake, for feeling the pain of the first arrow. This is the poison. The first arrow is a clean wound. The second arrow is you grinding salt and dirt into that wound, refusing to allow it to heal, insisting that the pain must continue. Almost all the misery you experience in your life is not the pain of the first arrow. It is the self-inflicted suffering of the second. You have come to believe that this suffering is a sign that you're taking things seriously, that your anxiety is a measure of how much you care. This is the most profound lie. Your suffering is not a virtue. It is a failure of perception. It is the act of a prisoner who, finding his cell door unlocked, chooses to remain inside, obsessing over the injustice of the walls. The Stoics taught that your true power, your only freedom, lies in the space between the first arrow and the second. It is the power to see the first arrow for what it is, an external event, painful but neutral, and to make the conscious, deliberate choice to not fire the second. This realization is the diagnosis, but a diagnosis without a therapy is merely an intellectual exercise. The Stoic practice is not passive understanding, it is an active training of the mind. Your therapy to master the law of the two arrows is not a complex procedure. It is a simple but relentless act of mental discipline, practiced in 2 steps. First, you will practice the art of the clean wound. The next time the first arrow strikes you, an unexpected bill, a rude comment, a mistake at work, you will pause. Instead of immediately leaping into the story of the second arrow, you will acknowledge the sensation of the first without judging it. Say to yourself internally, "This is pain," or "This is disappointment," or "This is fear." Name the raw physical sensation without adding the verdict. Observe it as you would observe a dark cloud in the sky. It is there, it is real, but it is not the entirety of the sky. This moment of pure observation is the space where you choose not to fire the second arrow. Second, you will become a ruthless interrogator of your own stories. Sometimes the second arrow is faster than your awareness. You find yourself already in the spiral of catastrophe. In that moment, you will not try to suppress the story. You will put it on trial. Ask your story 3 cold, logical questions. Question 1. Is this story 100% true? Is it an absolute fact that your career is over, or is that one of many possible futures? Question 2. What evidence do I have for this? Do I have concrete proof of the catastrophic outcome, or am I building a prison from assumptions? And question 3. What other story could be just as true? Could it be that the critical feedback is an opportunity to grow? Could it be that the end of this relationship clears the path for something better? By interrogating your story, you strip it of its power of unchallenged truth and turn it into what it is, one possibility among many, a mere fiction. Mastering your emotions does not mean developing a heart of stone. It means ceasing to attack your own heart with self-forged weapons. The pain of life is inevitable, but the suffering you so often feel is a creation of your own mind. You are not the wave. You are not even the ship struck by the wave. You are the vast, silent ocean itself, capable of holding every storm without being broken by it. If you are ready to put down the second arrow, declare it. Write, "I will not be my own archer," in the comments below. Join those who refuse to wound themselves, and subscribe, for the work of mastering the mind has only just begun.